The Galaxy Watch 3 has just received a new update, finally enabling the promised ECG and blood pressure features. So we're going to take a look at what's new on the Galaxy Watch 3 and see how it's doing in general several months on after its initial release. Stay tuned. Guys, welcome back to Take It Easy. So we finally got the much anticipated ECG and blood pressure features. So we're going to take a look at those. Well, actually we're not, because my first gripe with this update is that the blood pressure feature needs to be calibrated with an actual blood pressure machine, which sort of defeats the object, doesn't it? Anyway, more on that in a bit. So if you want to find these new features, head over to the Galaxy Wearables app, select the Galaxy Watch 3 if you have other devices on there, then go to the Home tab, and right at the bottom you'll have the Watch software update. Tap that and let it do its thing. So once the update is installed, head over to your Galaxy Watch 3, go to Apps, then it will most likely be right at the end. You'll see a new brightly coloured icon. This is a new Samsung Health monitoring app. Inside there you'll see both the ECG and blood pressure options. Now one thing I was wondering was, why didn't they just add this into the Samsung Health app? Did they really need a whole new app for this? I'm not too sure. Anyway, this is where you'll find the new features. So going back to what I said earlier about the blood pressure feature, once you tap it, it will actually tell you to follow the instructions on your phone. You then open the new app on your phone and it tells you that you need a cuff-based blood pressure monitor, which is super annoying for me, and it's not really something I have lying around the house. I can see how the feature may be useful for people with issues in that department. Having a blood pressure monitor on your wrist could be super handy, and people in that position will most likely have a blood pressure monitor lying around the house. But for a lot of us, we won't, so unless we go and buy another device to calibrate it, it's kind of useless and it sort of defeats the object for us. Now we move on to the ECG feature, which I'm a lot more impressed with, to say the least. That seemed to work fine. The results look very similar to an actual ECG, and I've had many of those done over the past few years. It does apparently check for symptoms of certain things, and it will show you that at the bottom of the ECG if it detects anything. Now this is a pretty cool feature, as in theory it could potentially be life-saving, or at the very least prompt an appointment with your GP to prevent any further damage. So those are the two main features that came with the update. I believe the Active 2 also got the same features, which is pretty nice. So yeah, I'm sorry I can't test the blood pressure monitor out right now, but as soon as I'm able to, I will post a video. It is worth noting as well that the ECG feature does not search for heart attacks, and I really think these features are more for crude monitoring throughout the day, not something to bet your life on. At the end of the day, if you're feeling rough, contact your GP. As I said earlier, what it could do is prompt an appointment with your doctor and prevent any further damage from happening. So that's the update covered. So how is the Galaxy Watch 3 doing in 2021? There's already rumours surfacing about the Galaxy Watch 4, so is it a good time to buy a Galaxy Watch 3 right now? Or should you wait for the Galaxy Watch 4, or is the first gen Galaxy Watch still a great buy? Well, yes and no to all of those questions, really. So let's start with the Galaxy Watch 4 rumours. So apparently, Samsung will be dropping the Tizen OS in favour of Google's Wear OS on the Galaxy Watch 4. This was confirmed not too long ago by Ice Universe on Twitter. Still, take that with a pinch of salt, but he's usually pretty spot on. Now, I'm not going to lie, that has concerned me a bit. There is a lot to love about Tizen OS. For me, it's always sat between Google Wear OS. Then at the top there, we have the Apple Watch OS. I hate admitting it, but it is a lot more fluid than Tizen and Google Wear OS. That being said, I've always praised the simplicity of Tizen OS, especially for newer users. But yeah, I really don't have anything good to say about the Google Wear OS. I tried it on the Skagen smartwatch and it was just an all-round miserable experience. Our best hope is that Samsung and Google work together to improve Wear OS. Maybe that could work out quite nicely. So that really makes me want to say, be cautious if you're holding out for the Galaxy Watch 4. I think we need a little bit more info before we make decisions on that. So then we come to the Galaxy Watch 3, and yeah, it's been great. It hasn't slowed down at all since I got it, and I filled this thing with apps and watch faces, as you well know. It's been an all-round great device, but one thing that has begun to annoy me is the battery life. Now, weirdly, the Galaxy Watch 3 had less battery life than the first generation Galaxy Watch, and that is really starting to show now. I've always been impressed and well happy with the Galaxy Watch 3, but never really blown away with it. I think it was a little bit lazy to use the same internals as the first generation Galaxy Watch with such a big price bump. That being said, I do much prefer the less bulky, more modern design, and having a much brighter screen is also really nice to have, especially when you're out running. Now recently I have done some tests on the heart rate monitoring and the SpO2 monitoring accuracy on the Galaxy Watch 3. The Galaxy Watch 3 was accurate, but I couldn't help but think that there was room for improvement, especially when it comes to consistency. If you do want to see those results, you can click the link in the top right hand corner or go and find the video on my channel after the video. I'll also post it in the comment section. Aside from that, everything else has worked great with the Galaxy Watch 3. I've particularly enjoyed using Strava to track my runs. That's an app to try out if you haven't already. Then there's things like the stand-up reminders. I really appreciate those. I downloaded a water reminder app to track my water intake. Having a rough idea of how many calories I've burned is also great, and I genuinely believe the Galaxy Watch 3 has helped me to become a little bit healthier, especially through the pandemic when I've been working at home. Now for the first gen Galaxy Watch. Now I've done a few videos saying why I think it's still a great buy in 2021, and I did one for 2020 as well. And I hold true to my word on that. Yes, I don't miss the bulky design, smaller screen, or even the darker screen for that matter, but really it just works. And if you want something to get your emails, calls, texts, and more on, something to track your heart rate, calories, and other bits, then it works perfectly. Maybe it's slightly slower than the Galaxy Watch 3, but it won't ruin your experience by any means, and for almost a £200 difference, it's still a great buy. There really wasn't much in it apart from the modern look of the Galaxy Watch 3. Until this new update was released, now the Galaxy Watch 3 does have the ECG and blood pressure features that the Galaxy Watch will not get. But I'll leave you to decide whether those two features are worth £200 and even more if you don't have a blood pressure monitor lying around the house, because you're going to have to go and buy a separate device to calibrate the Galaxy Watch 3. So that was a quick look at the new features on the Galaxy Watch 3 and how to find them, and just a general updated review of the Galaxy Watch 3 and the other Galaxy Watches in 2021. My conclusion, although the first Galaxy Watch is getting old now, it's still a great buy and it will work fine for what most people will need it for. But admittedly, its age might be a good reason to wait for some more information on the Galaxy Watch 4, because whether that's a good device or not, the Galaxy Watch 3 will most likely drop down in price, making that a better value buy. Then you can enjoy a slightly slimmer and slightly snappier watch. Anyway guys, as always, let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.